And now, time for something just a little bit different. Alright, I know you saw my mouse, so you know this is emulation. Welcome to something not different whatsoever. This is the Super Mario All-Stars and the Super Mario World Collection. Came out in '94, I believe, and it was only released in North America. At least this version was. What you get in this collection is Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 2, Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3, and in the exclusive Plus World Edition, you also get an updated version of Super Mario World. And we'll go into more why that's updated when I eventually do Super Mario World. But for today, we're just going to keep it old school. I got to get this off the list, guys. This is the first Super Mario Brothers. Why am I doing this now? Well, because I should be able to beat this in one part. And I need one more part this week, and I really don't want to start a new series yet. I kind of want a little bit more time to figure out what I'm going to do here. So, what I'm doing right now is called padding. Not really. But I just figured that, you know, I gotta get something Mario on the channel. I've already played through 2 Sonic games, and that's not even including the streams, so I tried to figure out what Mario game could I get through real fast, and if I go through the warp zones, yeah, maybe 20 minutes. That is, if I'm competent. And for some reason, this emulator just feels off. I don't feel like I'm in control here. I don't know why. It looks fine, but maybe it's just me. And here's the thing, right? My original Super Mario Brothers skills seem to come and go. Some days I'll do pretty good. You know, not world record worthy, of course, but, you know, competent. I'd say competent. And other days, I can't do it to save my life, so we'll have to see what today is feeling like. Right now, I feel like I'm already making a lot of stupid mistakes, but I don't know, that's just the perfectionist in me. And honestly, if I re-record this every time I don't feel like I'm competent enough, I'll be here all year. So, let's just bust it out, you know. Well, I missed the extra life there, but whatever. I shouldn't need it, but another thing is that I'm playing with the PS4 controller, so everything feels a little bit off. Even though the PS4 controller is a great controller, I don't know. It feels kind of weird to play Mario with. Even though PlayStation controllers historically have just been modified Super Nintendo controllers, I don't know what my issue is. Why am I playing this version? Because I'm more nostalgic towards it. I used to play a lot of Super Nintendo on emulators. I've gone through that story like a million times on this channel already. But like, I don't know, I always liked the way 16-bit art looked. And even though I have played the NES version, the first time I beat this game was the NES version. I just figured that, you know, people see this version a lot less. At least, I think. It's definitely available on way less things. I mean, the last time I think this was re-released was on the Wii. It's part of that collection that they literally just put a Super Nintendo emulator and ROM on a disc. That was Mario's big, what was that, the 25th anniversary? I think so. Kind of a lame anniversary thing, I mean, I don't know. While I'm recording this, this is actually the day before we find out if Sega has anything big for Sonic this year, for his 29th. You know, it's really, like, I don't want to make this entire part talking about Sonic, but just for a second tangent here. Also, if you want to get to World 8, this is an easy shortcut right here. But like, I'm just gonna talk about it since it's like on my mind right now, and I'll probably forget about it. You know, like, they made a big deal about his 29th anniversary this year and how it's coming up to his 30th, and they were like, oh, we're gonna have streams every month that's gonna be talking about new Sonic stuff. But then they're like, oh, we might not have a game ready to go to show you guys. And it's like, well, what the hell? Why even make it such a big deal then? If you want to wait till the 30th anniversary, which, you know, makes sense, why would you tease something this year? Are you gonna, like, not show something on June? Or are you rushing the game out so that's done in a year? So June 23rd, 2021. Exactly 30 years after the original Sonic. It's just a weird time. Not that Mario is doing much of anything right now. I mean, Odyssey is also about 3 years old now, so we haven't heard anything. There's a lot of rumors going on right now that they're re-releasing the original, the first 3D games in a part of a Mario collection for the Switch, and that'd be great. You know, anything to get anything on a Nintendo handheld is fine by me. Especially a proper way to play like Galaxy and Sunshine in HD and stuff. But, you know, it's Nintendo, so I highly doubt they're thinking about printing money, you know? I always hated that jump, but it's not the worst jump in the game, actually. Don't worry about the time limit. You just gotta be careful here. I always just try to be careful. That's just what I mean, though. As long as I don't fuck up in the next 2 levels really bad, I can have this done in like 20 minutes. 20-25 minutes. That's why I decided to do it, you know, get it out of the way. I'll come back and stream this once I get the equipment to actually do it without emulation. But for now, I figured that this would be a good time to do this. I almost fell right into that pit. Sometimes you would wonder if my English is my first language, but it totally is. I had some complaints about that in the first scripted video I ever released. When I share it, people were like, "Is English your first language?" And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I mix some words up, but I think it's pretty obvious that English is my first language. I was really worried there. These bullet bills do like to come out at the most inopportune times. There, that's the worst jump in the game. I don't know, I like this little tune that they added for this release too. I don't think there's any power-ups, so there's no point in me smashing those. Okay. Ooh. Didn't like that jump. Okay, there we go. That's usually the hardest level in the game for me. I know what you're saying. The next level's pretty bad too, but it's not. I don't think it's that bad. Alright. Penultimate level in the game. Also, these are also new for this release. The castle graphics really helps it stand out a little bit. I just want to let the bullet bill like pass. I don't like letting them sit on screen for too long. Alright. So the thing about these two is that it's complete RNG on whether or not they're gonna fall right through or what. I'm sure it has something to do with the timer and all this like behind the scenes stuff. But do you really think I am crazy enough to learn that kind of pattern? Okay, let the bullet bill pass. Deload it, whatever. Alright. Let's try to get through this without getting hit too many times. Okay. Alright. Ugh. Well, that ruins my chance of having a hammer. Oh, no. That's okay, actually. I'll take that. That's first death. First death. I actually want to restart, because if I can get a fire flower in this level, which is pretty much my last chance to, that'll really help during the next stage. So, see, these things, these guys, Hammer Brothers, they're infamous. I think the worst part of them is that when they do design a level around being able to avoid them, they still have a little bit of RNG, so that you can't tell where they're going to end up landing, if they're going to go right through a plane or not. Plane being a floor or whatever. So it's a little... You know, I'm just going to die again. I got the lives. I might as well try to get this little hard part out of the way and then come back and, you know, just ace it. Because believe me, the fire flower is going to make this whole part a lot easier. Yeah, so, alright, we got through the first part, as long as I don't fuck this up. There we go. So, you know, I'm a big prototype guy, right? A lot of people know that about me. I like talking about prototype content and unused stuff in games. Would you believe that, I find it a little odd that we've never seen a lot on the development on this game in particular. There's been small, like, little, like, hints and stuff towards it. You know, a couple, like, behind-the-scenes stuff. We've seen very little of what a prototype version of this game looks like. There it is. You know, we have, like, Mario's Adventure being an early US localization name for the game. We have, like, a different control scheme for when the game was designed like a shooter. Stuff like that, but, you know, nothing too crazy. We have, like, 2 or 3 frames from when the Mario looked like he did in Donkey Kong. But, you know, the interesting thing is that an early US version of the game was put on eBay, or, like, another one of those, like, auction sites a few years ago. And nobody noticed until, like, no like, big company noticed until after it was done. So, there's an early prototype version of Super Mario Brothers with maybe some small changes that everybody, like, missed when it came out. Or when it was, put on the internet. Isn't that interesting? You know, like, one of the biggest games of all time just, you know, had, like, that leak out and no one did anything about it. So here's the trick about this level, right? If you're ever struggling with 8-4, all you have to do to get to the right path, because this does scroll a little bit weird, all you have to do is make sure that you go into the first pipe or whatever after a pit, okay? So there's a lava pit there, and this is the pipe you go down. This is the flying fish segment, right? Yep. Be a little careful here. This is a little bit RNG. You can see there's another pit there. There's a bit of a water segment. That means you're getting to the end of it. So yeah, this is turning into pro tips in case you're one of the 5 people that have never played Super Mario Brothers. But believe it or not, I bet if you ask my personal friends group if they've ever beaten the original Super Mario Brothers, most of them would say no. Oh, jeez, no. I thought I was low enough. Crap. I barely nicked that, too. Alright, well, that makes this, like, part way harder. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, man. Alright, so that Hammer Brother there? That's the real boss of this area. Bowser? No, Bowser's a punk. Getting past that Hammer Brother is the real final fight. Bowser, after all that, is just a little bit, like, a little tricky if you, like, get it bad, like... Alright, I know it's not random, but it is kind of random, the pattern he throws at you. It's not, but it is at the same time. So if you get a little unlucky there with how things are set for you, based on whatever the game like calculates, it's gonna be a problem. So I was worried about that last cheap sheep there. I couldn't think of the name of it. That's kind of bad. Alright. I love the ruins there. Like, I love the little graphical additions they made to this port to, like... That's the thing, right? If you make a greatest games of all time list, and you include this, people are going to tell you, oh, it's just a port of the other games. It doesn't count. This is remade from the ground up, I believe. This is an emulation. So, I kind of consider it. So, it is one of my favorite games of all time because of that. Not just the original, or 2, or 3, or whatever. Now, the collection that has World in it, that's a little different, so you could consider that a separate game. Since that isn't, technically, it is a compilation, because it's a compilation of 2 different games, Mario All-Stars and Mario World. Ah. Sorry about that scratching. Getting angry at myself now. No, I wasted my good attempt there, because I usually use the Fire Flower to put that guy away. At least I like to. I mean, I'm beating it without a Fire Flower, obviously, but... just a little nice to not have to deal with the RNG, because the thing is, you got that Hammer Brother. The idea is you gotta run underneath him, because there's no way you really want a chance trying to jump on him, right? But the problem is that there's a little fireball that'll jump from the lava, and that's a little hard to time with also having to like run past a Hammer Brother at the same time. So if you have a Fire Flower, you can take care of the Hammer Brother, and you know still. Oh no! See, I saw that happening. I thought I would get out of the way of its trajectory. Trajectory. Oh, I can't say that word right now. Trajectory. That sounds so weird. I can't say that right now. Ah, whatever. If I get a game over, I start at World 8-1, I'll cut, and I'll just get back to here with the Fire Flower. It's not a terrible deal, but, you know, I'd like to try to beat it without doing that. We'll see what I can do. I'm not ashamed in it, you know. Some days my Mario skill is just not here. I don't know where it goes, but it's just the first Mario. For some reason, I'm very inconsistent with this game. I don't know why that is, but it's just something that's been with me all my life. Like, sometimes I'm really good at it. Other times, I just can't do it, you know? Of course, this part's like the easiest part, and that's what makes it harder for me to like be like, oh, you lost the Fire Flower here, because I really felt I was short enough as Fire Mario there to get past it without having to duck. But as you can see, I wasn't, and I lost my greatest strength at this level, so it just makes everything harder for me, you know. Okay. Okay, good. Ah. See, that's the thing, is fireballs. That's like the only challenge of that fight. The hammers... I held my breath there. The hammers aren't nothing. So, here's my last attempt. If I get a game over here, I'll quickly cut when I come back, and I'll redo it. But I really don't think I should have to, because... Is there a coin somewhere in this level? I got a coin. Where did I get a coin from? I can earn an extra life. So I'm just a little... Oh, there's a coin in there. Okay. No. I mean, I'm not too embarrassed. I've done it before, and, you know, I'll do it again without having to get a game over here, but You know, it's just sometimes you just can't do it. But how cool would it be if I did it this attempt? Now that I said that, I'm not going to, but you know, it would be pretty cool. Alright, so let's try this again. Okay. Another good college try at this. Alright. Oh, did you see that? And there we go. I did it. Without getting a game over. I was worried there. I was going to embarrass myself. Oh, man. Alright, so here's the thing. Obviously, there's like 20-something levels I didn't go through here. And that's because this is meant to be a short playthrough. Because I'm going to stream this game when I get the proper equipment with the real hardware and stuff. And I'm going to do the whole game there. I have beaten the whole game by itself with with everything and stuff, but also the more difficult quest, if you've never played this game before, all it does is it swaps some enemies around. I mean, you can play it if you want, but it's not going to change the ending that much. It's the same ending. But that was Super Mario Brothers. Game's still a classic, you know. Controls a little differently than the modern games, and you know, there's some jank in there too, but overall I think it's a great game and you should play it. Well, have a good